Welcome to Supporting and Reporting That Narrative That's Imperative podcast. I am your host, Char, and thank you so much for tuning in and sharing your most valuable possession, your time. I would like to personally extend an invitation for you to please take a moment and subscribe below to receive new exciting podcast episodes as they become available. And I so graciously thank you for all your support. After last week's podcast, The Being Experience, I was so inspired because I feel like it's a twofold topic. You can't discuss one without the other. You can't discuss how we are treating others and not address how we're handling how others are treating us. So I began taking inventory. And I would say things are going well, and I'm mindful of how I treat others and how others handle me. But in my time of self-reflection, I recognize that there have been times in my life that there has been breakdowns in some of my relationships. And in my meditation, I searched my approach and my actions to evaluate if I have caused or if any of my actions have been the cause of the breakdown in these relationships in any way. And I have to be honest, as I encourage all of us to be honest with ourselves, and sometimes I'm a little too honest. So as I reflected back to the beginning of the breakdowns, I did contribute because I endured longer than I should have. I've accepted put downs and let downs when I should have just walked away. So yes, I do take ownership for all the times I didn't speak up or stand up for myself. All the times I considered others' feelings more than my own. Even when I tried to convince and change a perspective of me, or if I downplayed myself and things to be accepted. Ultimately, there is something to learn and earn from all these experiences. As my reflection continued, I began to pray for peace in all my experiences and areas in my life. And I asked for wisdom and knowledge and understanding, and it began to come together and make sense. I began replaying all the things I would hear growing up, how misery loves company, and how adversity was only meant to make us stronger. For a long time, these statements was difficult to accept. Every time I hear them, the hair on the back of my neck will stand up. I felt like a credit card reader declining a purchase. Every time there was an offense and I heard these phrases, I felt like saying decline, 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 decline. But now I understand. I understand a little bit different, a little bit better. Even though the experience is similar, and now I can honestly say I receive and I accept and I agree. And even though adversity has its purpose, having a support system is just as purposeful and important. Having someone to have your back, to help balance the weight on the scale, it's always helpful. It's a bonus. There are so many times and experiences that people attempt to affect us negatively or disrupt our vibration. You see, I use the term attempt because it's up to us to see the big picture. How life is only 10% of what happens to us. The other 90% is how we handle things, is our perception. I used to get so angry. It would be like what my elders was called, I would be fit to be tied. But my anger didn't fix anything. It didn't get me anywhere or anything. It didn't stop the offense. It didn't block the hurt. It was only a distraction and disruption. I found it to be useless, a waste of energy and time. You see, I heard a long time ago how when you get angry, it takes up to 72 hours to get your nerve endings and your organs back to its original state. I'm no doctor, I'm no scientist. But hearing this, whether if it's true or not, made me pick and choose what I want to give 72 hours of my life to. It's not that things don't bother me. They do. I just know when to walk away and when and who not to engage with. Now it's beginning to be like water running off a duck's back. Now, I see it as it truly is. I find it to be sad and actually it's kind of tragic. A lot of times offenses are only a reflection of someone's mindset. You see, we encounter people every day that are dissatisfied and angry with their choices they have made in their lives, to the point that they are offensive and disruptive to others. And whether we understand it or not, this is a classic example of dis-ease. I'm not talking about the medical term. You see, dis is a Greek prefix that means bad or troubled. And then you have the term ease, which means absence of difficulty or effortless. And you combine these two and you get dis-ease, which means impaired functioning, difficulty. Dis-ease forms when there's discontentment. In so many cases, we sit back and we watch people sit in glass houses, criticizing, passing judgment, picking people apart, trying to make others feel just as bad as they do for their success. All the while not knowing how to fix what they don't like in their own lives. So to make things and themselves feel better, they would try to make others feel just as bad as they do. It's not right or just, but it's the reality of things. It's also the reality that it's okay. And we should feel privileged and honored that I am, you are, we are more important. All that we're working on in our life is more important than someone seeing about themselves and working on their own lives. You see, this comes with the territory when you're valuable, when you're an asset. Picture this. It's simple math. If you add 1 to 0, it equals 1. And if you have 1 minus 0, it still equals 1. So in other words, when you and we're in experiences and we are only contributing, we're adding value, and we give of ourselves, our time, our finances. We have helped and assisted in any way. And things are and have been one-sided more often than not. The scales are tilted. Just remember, our value, your value, my value, nothing or no one can ever take it away or diminish our value. No matter how you add it up or try to subtract from it, you will always have value. Our value? Always be mindful and encouraged, no matter what, that we are extremely valuable. No need to accept or entertain disease. It's just as contagious as a common cold. The same way if your resistance is low, you can contract a cold. The same thing happens when you don't realize or accept your value. That we are an asset to every experience that we have. We must be aware and unwavering of all that we bring to the table and to the experience. It's like putting a puzzle together. No matter how many pieces there are, each one is needed. They may look similar, but each piece is unique and has their own space, just as important as the next. The puzzle isn't complete without it. Just as you and I, we are all valuable and just as important as everyone else. This world, every experience that we have had wouldn't be complete without us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember how valuable we are and how we're all needed. Take a moment and subscribe below, and always remember how special and valuable we all are, and the time we spend together is so very precious to me. Until we meet again, please take a moment and make sure you have an amazing week.